All right. Hello. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who are joining me from the West Coast, and good evening for those of you who are joining me from India. Today let's just have like a just talk. It's pretty much the same thing. I'll be playing games randomly on the internet, and let's see where things take us. So I'm going to issue a couple of challenges. And if any of you are interested in playing against me, you can issue a challenge to my ID here, Grandmaster School. Okay. As far as openings go, I play E4, E5 as well as French and Sicilian. But I've been playing E4, E5 for quite some time, so I'm gonna stick with it. All right. So what does this tell us? Knight c3. Maybe I can just play bishop b4. Yeah, takes. Maybe takes. Yeah. So what we have got here is a reversed version of Spanish opening, Royal Lopez opening, and yeah. So black has the center to defend. Well, I think d5 was a mistake because now this gives me very good targets to attack in white's position. So what move would you play here? Either knight e7 or knight a5 or something else? Well, the way I think about it is that white has just handed black a very, very big strategical weakness on the c5 square, right? These two pawns are doubled, and c5 square is a nice target for one of the black knights. So with that in mind, knight b8 is also one move that black can try to play. So maybe I'll go with that, knight b8. So the idea is to play knight d7 and knight c5, eventually landing the knight to the powerful c5 square. Well, h3 is a mistake. White is trying to prevent bishop g4, but as I said in one of my earlier sessions, you should first try to see if there are any unprotected pieces or pawns in your position. And white has this unprotected pawn. So I'm going to grab it. Now black is a pawn up. White should have defended the e4 pawn, either with bishop d3 or rook e1. So playing h3 was definitely a mistake here. Not a very bright idea. Queen d3. What can we do about queen d3? Well, maybe knight c5. Right. Just attack back. Queen e3 and now bishop f5. So I want to develop my pieces, but also it's even better if you can develop it with the tempo. And bishop d3. Can I get one of white's pieces by just playing e4? I suppose I can get that. Maybe we'll play knight d4. Yeah, things can get messy. So messy decision. Just gonna take and develop my pieces. There is nothing wrong ever with plainly developing your pieces. That's always a good. It's always a good strategy. Bishop a3. Not sure what white is trying to do. So yeah, I'm just developing my pieces. Well, now the middle game stage has started, right? So how to think in middle games? That's a very, very big mystery to a lot of us, even to me, right? So I might be playing this moves fast, but how to play middle games is like a big mystery. It's a big puzzle, to be very frank. Well, first of all, he was just attacking my pawn. So, as always, pay attention to any unprotected pieces you might have in your position, unprotected pawns. Um, so here, white is trying to play h5, attack my bishop. So I'm going to try to simplify this position. So the h4 pawn is defended by the knight, so that's the reason I went for this kind of an exchange. Now takes, and now take queen into h4. So in the last few moves, I've managed to get rid of the knight on f3, which was defending the h4 pawn by that sequence. Alright, so now black is 2 pawns up. I guess in middle games, one of the basic tenets you should be following is try to attack weaknesses in your opponent's position. So that's what I've tried to do here. Attack more weaknesses, right? And capture more weaknesses. So if your opponent is not paying attention, then definitely keep attacking them, right? And okay, maybe knight a4. Keep attacking them, and if he gives it up, then simply take them, right? Whoa, rook g2, fancy move. Maybe rook e6. The idea being if I can try to neutralize white's pressure by playing something like rook g6. f4, let's play f5, just stop his pawn right there. I don't want any funny business. Rook f3, very, very interesting. Let's just go rook e8, rook g3, maybe just g6, take off the pressure. So both of these white rooks wouldn't be doing anything now. Okay, let's exchange one of the rooks. Check and rook e2. Exchanging is like one of the strategies. It's one of the defensive strategies, right? So as you can see, white's 2 rooks are attacking my king's side a little bit, and by exchanging one of the rooks, I've tried to alleviate some of that pressure. Right? Try to reduce some of that pressure, and yeah, just keep attacking more weaknesses, capture the weaknesses. And okay, so it's a good time to exchange the other pair of rooks. All right, takes, and I'm now gonna start attacking another weakness here. Okay, capture the a4 pawn as well. We take. Aha, we have like a trickster. Okay, a4. Now this pawn, I'm trying to queen it. I'm doing low on time, right? So that's one thing I have to keep in mind. That I shouldn't be losing on time. Let's go c5. We take this other pawn. Okay, knight d3. And now we can give a check. Whoops, I could have played knight e5. My bad. Knight d4. Okay, so now I'm stopping his bishop from making a queen. Let's make it a queen. Still have 33 seconds, so should be good. Okay. the basic technique for playing against the white king. No, he resigned. All right. Cool. That was easy peasy. All right. Anyone online watching, feel free to issue a challenge to this ID. Grandmaster School. Um, Otherwise, I'm just gonna issue new challenges. We'll play another game versus this guy. Queen pawn opening. Alright, knight c6 move I don't like. Black's pawn should come to c6, but I guess this is another way to play this opening. Queen d8, well, maybe d5, so kick his knight. And now e4. I've got on the center now, so white should be fine here. White should be doing fine, and what is this? Just an extra pawn. Thank you very much. Okay, let me. Whoa! Now this is tactics. In one of the puzzle sessions, we went over how to spot tactics, right? I'll be doing another puzzle session on Monday, which should be the 19th. And I'll give you a few more pointers on how to do the puzzle sessions or how to quickly identify puzzles, right? Or how to quickly identify the tactics in the position. One of the basic rules for identifying tactics is identify any unprotected pieces in your opponent's position. And when you find that there are unprotected pieces in your opponent's position, try to find geometries, right? So that's what I did when I captured the bishop on b4. I tried to exploit the geometry of the chessboard. I tried to exploit that the bishop on b4 was unprotected, and then I could give a double attack, which was basically very elementary geometry. G6, well, bishop h6 check just suggests itself. King e7, that's an even quirkier move. What should I do here? Let's go long castles. The idea is to play d6. Well, we get d6. Well, we also get bishop b5 check. And now we are going to play rook e1, and it's going to be... And we are going to be wrapping up this game pretty soon. e1 check. Knight e4 takes. Rook into e4. Oops, so he's planning for an escape square, so let me stop that. And also there is a check. 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 And checkmate. Alright. That was a good game. Let me accept a rematch here. Alright, knight f6. This is transposed to an Alekhine center counter kind of opening. I believe the right move here is d4. Or I can go knight e4 also. That seems slightly weak. Yes, you can go knight e4. Better. Slightly better. Now takes c5. I'm following some very basic rules, which is attack, keep attacking the center. Well, now this pawn is lost. G4. Maybe take it first. Takes. Can play something like knight c4. Yeah. So if I play knight c6, white might try to just keep on attacking my center. So yeah, I mean, I guess I would prefer to keep my center closed. C3, okay, e6. Now I just want to develop and be over with it. Bishop e2. If I play rook c8, he's going to give queen a4 check, and then he can take my a7 pawn. That's one disadvantage of this move. Can play b5, but then again, there is my b5 pawn might get weak. So this was slightly tricky move. I suppose just play queen d7. Okay, take. I'm still a pawn up, so I'm not that worried. And now. I guess bishop e7. Yeah, I don't think white is playing well here. Now I sort of get like a free hand. Bishop a3, again takes. What should black do here? So black is a pawn up in this position, but still not clear what his option should be. So I'm gonna stick with just protecting my pawns and pieces for the moment and do some development. And we can go on from there, right? I suppose, yeah. So I think white has just played a good move. This diagonal will be a key one for whatever is gonna come next. So I'm gonna try to challenge white's queen on that diagonal. Right. So the first things first, challenge is queen on this diagonal, and then, well, then what? Maybe try attacking his pawn. So in middle games, end games, a common principle is that keep on, uh, keep tabs on where your opponent's weaknesses are. Right, so I see there is a weakness on a4 here, so that's where I'm going to concentrate. Rook e5. Maybe best answer would be rook d5. Well, now I'm just going to take this. d5. Well, this is a standard pin, so well, now white is lost. This pawn is going to become a queen. Yeah. And black should wrap this up. Maybe queen d3 first. Yeah. This is over for white. Anyway, If anyone online wants to play against me, feel free to issue a challenge to Grandmaster School. Like give me a challenge to this ID. Okay, I guess white is just stalling. Yeah. Let's go over the game. Black is winning here. Let's just go over the game. What happened? Yeah, so we started with like a very different opening, but once things got settled, I just kept on applying the basic principles of playing in the center, right? Once the knight on c3 got exchanged, just play in the center, put pawns on c5, d5, develop pieces, and I was attacking his center, and white just castled here, which I don't think was the best move. He should have played d4 here and protected his pawn on e5. Well, once he didn't do that, then it gave me the more, like one more reason to get an extra pawn and put a block in on c4. And c3, I guess e6 was the right move here. Bishop e2. And yeah, I mean, like there are dual threats of bishop into c4 and queen a4 check. So rook c8, after rook c8, queen a4 check, and queen into a7 was possible. So I just went queen d7, stopping that check. One more thing to note here is that if I play knight b6, oops, currently cannot analyze. So if I had gotten knight b6 instead of queen d7, then white has bishop b5 check, right? And that would be really, really uncomfortable for black. So yeah, controlling this diagonal was important. And okay, so I would have preferred to have this blockade pawn, right? So I would have preferred to have my rook exchange on c4, but we don't get everything in life. So, okay, for the moment, white's c3 pawn is not weak. As weak, it's safe from black's rooks. And continue with development. Well, yeah, white just timed out. So I don't think white was a good sport here because he should have resigned way earlier. He was just stalling the games. I'm gonna. He was stalling. I'm gonna report him. Yeah, I don't like just like this. All right, so I'm getting some online challenges. So let's play against them. So anyone online, if they want to play against me, issue a challenge to this ID. Right. Okay, G4. I play different openings against D4. Of late, I'm playing Nimzo Indian defense. Let's go C5. 3. Let's go castles. Bishop D2. Maybe take on D4 and play D5. Yeah, I like to play against isolated queen pawns. Yeah, playing against isolated queen pawns is always fun. Takes, queen into d5. I don't think white should have exchanged these many pieces. Like when you're playing with isolated queen pawns, right? So this is an isolated queen pawn structure for those of you who might not know about this. You want to keep as many pieces on the board as possible, right? Otherwise, your position starts to look a little bit weak. So exchanging the black squared bishop, exchanging the knight, probably not the best idea from a strategical point. Alright, so What should we do now? Well, one problem black faces is to develop his bishop on c8, right? I mean, where is it supposed to go? To b7 after b6 or to d7? That's always something that's not very, very obvious. But we gotta play, right? We gotta play our game. What do we want to do here? Suppose I just want to play bishop d7. Well, I've technically completed my development, right? So black has developed his pieces. Um, he has developed all of his pieces. His rooks are connected, so that's like the minimal amount of thing you want to achieve out of an opening. And that's what I've achieved. But I don't see good plans for white. I mean, I don't see white attacking my position because it doesn't have pieces, right? So to attack your opponent's position, you need pieces on the board, and that's something white does not have. B3, I suppose he wants to play bishop c4, right? Not a bad idea, not at all. In fact, probably a good one. But I'm just gonna play bishop e8 here. So my plan is to keep on attacking the d4 pawn. Okay, maybe now queen h5, suppose. Queen c3. Now what? Well, let's just keep on building attack against the d4 pawn. More attack. And now what? Well, maybe it's time to play solid move like h6. Yeah, I don't know what to do now. So black definitely doesn't have like a straightforward plan here on what to do. So I don't know. I'm gonna maneuver my pieces a little bit. h3, maybe bishop c6, right? All right, yeah, so my bishop got activated, which is definitely a plus point in black's position. Rook d3, and now what do we have here? What do we have? Probably a good move here can be something like queen g6. So yeah, I think now black already has like sort of a good position. I don't think sort of. I mean, I think black has pretty good position. What do we do? Oh, okay. Well, one one tactic I notice is that what to do here. Okay, I'm getting a piece here, so this bishop has been self-blocked. So definitely take that piece. Whoops! What's this? What is this? What? Take. Well, now black's piece. So now black. So now the win should be easy. So I'm not even worried about anything. Yeah. Black is winning here. Yeah, so let's take a look at this game. Where did white go wrong? So I think white played the opening well, but um, right. So one field of study when you're trying to become a competitive chess player is opening preparation, right? So I definitely think white's opening preparation isn't well. But having said that, bishop d2 is not a bad move, but definitely not the best move either. Usual moves go like bishop d3, and white wants to quickly castle. But bishop d2 is an alright move. After take take, I believe knight into d5 was a very bad move because that just exchanges a pair of pieces, right? After knight d5, take take, like you have exchanged two pairs of pieces, which means white will have less pieces to attack black's position. So one of the strategical things which I study, uh, which I teach in my course on Unacademy, is about strategical thinking and which pieces to exchange, when to exchange them, is definitely one of the hardest and challenging strategical concepts out there. When to exchange pieces, and I believe knight into d5 is not a good idea because white is playing with an isolated queen pawn, and when you're playing with an isolated queen pawn, you want to keep as many pieces on the board. As a general rule, like every rule has an exception, but you want to keep as many pieces on the board and so that you have pieces to attack, right? So I guess a better move would have been to play bishop d3 here, and then castle and continue with that. So I hope I've given some insight into to DCS. I don't know his real name, but good sport. I'd be happy to play another game against you, buddy. But let's accept an already outstanding challenge. D4. I was an E4 player at the start of my career when I got the start of my chess career, but then I switched to D4 because D4 is much more positional and a much more solid opening choice. And I figure that as you start playing more and more, you ultimately want to rely on solid opening choices than anything else. Yeah, I don't know what black is trying to do here. Very, very bad opening choice. Take this. And he has just given me a free pawn. Very bad opening choice by black. And e6 and even bad move. This is sort of a positional tactic, right? So if I take on e6, then black can take with bishop e6, right? But now after giving a check, I can even like damage his pawn structure even more. So now there is a bigger target on e6, and I like weaknesses. So creating weaknesses in your opponent's position is one of the skills you'll have to develop as a chess player. What was that for? What was rook g8 for? That's a terrible move. E6 was hanging, so I supposed he would have tried to support e6. In any case, black's position was not very good. And even bigger blunder. Now I have a check, fork, right? So along with strategical thinking, you need to be having good positional skills as well, right? Good tactical skills as well. So as we can see, in my game, I'm not solely relying on strategical thinking or solely relying on tactical thinking. Chess is kind of like cooking, right? So there are different ingredients when you cook any dish, and it's a mix of different ingredients, right? When you're trying to cook a dish, and chess is kind of like the same way. You're trying to cook your opponent's position, if we can say that. And yeah, so there is some combination of tactics involved, some combination of strategy involved, and it is like it is up to the discretion of the chess player on what that combination might look like. So, in some positions, in some games, you rely too heavily on strategy because that's what the position demands. And in other games, you are trying to play more of a tactical game, like there is just combinations flying all around. So, it's that's what you have to judge and decide as the chess player, like what combination of tactics and strategy you want to apply in each and every game. All right. Having said that, let's get back to the game. Well, this is the last position for black. I don't think black has any chance of surviving here, especially against a good player. Well, pins, right? So pins, there are a lot of pins here. There's a pin on the A4 E8 diagonal, pin on the D file, pin on this knight on the H4 D8 diagonal. So I don't think black is gonna survive this. All right, so let's go with a little more attack. Um, yeah, so I think this game will be wrapping up pretty soon. But anyone else who is interested to play against me, sure challenge to this user ID, uh, Grandmaster School. Well, I can take your queen, but I'd rather try to take your pawn on a7. Pen is a strategical as well as a tactical concept. So I've seen um, strong players like Kramnik, Anand, use Pen more as a strategical concept than a tactical one. It can be used both ways, but a lot of these guys just rely on strategy, like higher level thinking. All right, what do we have here? Should be made in within few moves. Yeah, this is made in 2 moves. Blacks should be 6, and next move is queen into b7 check. Mate. All right, I think it's time to say good game. Anyway, let's move on to the next game. Yeah, feel free to issue a challenge to this ID. I won't be accepting challenges which are more than 5 minutes. So keep it between 3 to 5 minutes so that we can stay within time limits. Um, all right, let's play against another online kibitzer. As I said in the opening, you want to try to control the center. So that's what I'm trying to do by putting the knight and the pawns. Although in a lot of ensuing positions, this bishop on b4 is gets cramped, right? So it's a good strategy to exchange bishop on b4. Takes. I got the bishop exchanged, and maybe I'll play a move on the flank. All right. I don't think my last few moves were correct, but anyway, I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to alert my opponent. But I will definitely disclose at the end of the game. As you can see that I want to play in the center, so black wants to play in the center, but I've deviated from my initial strategy of putting the pawns on e6 and d5 to now putting it on d6 e5. And the reason is that I exchanged this black squared bishop, right? So I exchanged this bishop. So that's why I'm putting my pawns on the dark squares, right? So it's a good idea to put your pawns on the color that is opposite to your bishop, right? So my bishop on Z is a light squared bishop, whereas these pawns are on dark square. So that's always a good strategy. I don't think white is doing a good job of following that because you can see that white's bishop is a light squared one and his pawns are on light squares, especially the central pawns. We pay a big attention to the central pawns. So white has not done a good job of following this strategy. You know, a lot of chess is just playing, like sticking to a strategy and then just, like playing and keep on persistently applying it. That's what a lot of the games boil down to. And if you follow the strategy, that invariably leads to good positions, right? And that's what strong players do, right? I mean, grandmasters and top chess players, they rely a lot on strategy more than the tactics. Although you do require good tactical eyesight. Don't get me wrong. Tactical eyesight is necessary for the final execution, but before you get chance to execute tactics, you need to be able to get a good strategical and a positional position. Just look at black's position, right? So look at my position. There are not many obvious weaknesses, whereas we see two weaknesses already in white's position, a3 and c4, and well, that is enough to win a game of chess. Take, take. I'm gonna start attacking this a pawn on a3. Huh. That is a very interesting move. We take it. Okay, there are some threats on the back rank, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Hmm. H4. I wonder what the idea of this move could be. Still, King G7. Okay, he's attacking my B7 pawn, so let's just protect that. Queen B5, and now I believe I can take on A3. One pawn is all you need to win a game. Whoa, that's an intermezzo. First a check and then take white's queen. So tactics. I'm just a rook up. Now black is just a rook up. Black should win this without any trouble. So I definitely missed that ensuing tactic. Attack c4. take. D4. Well, the rest of the game is easy peasy. I just have an extra rook, so I'm gonna try to take as many pawns and uh, pieces as possible. All right, one check. Maybe another check. Maybe one more check. D4. I'm gonna bring my king to D4. So this rook has cut off the white king, yeah? He got a resignation. All right, I would be happy to play a rematch, but let's give others a chance. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, not minutes, but few seconds to see if I'm getting more challenges. Feel free to issue a challenge to Grandmaster School. All right, I got one. So let's play against. Yeah, my basic idea is just put the pawns in the center, right? All right, he's going for a King's Indian setup. So I just want to wait. I got my center. The idea is to kick Black's knight with e5. Probably not the best idea. Oh, maybe I'll just play bishop d3. e5. Seven. Just castles. The castle c5, c3, knight c6. Good time. Good time. Well, yeah, I mean, so strategically, this game is going in a direction where black is going to try to attack my center, and white will have to defend it. So this has transitioned into a French kind of a structure. Though it's a bit different because black hasn't yet committed to playing e6. So I guess last move's idea was to play bishop a6. So I'm stopping that. By putting queen on e2, I'm stopping black's bishop a6. c5, c3. That's not a problem at all. e6. Well, let's go a3 just in case. b4. Well, the idea of a3 b4 is that I just want to have some space on the queen side, and also let's say if black's knight come to c6, I can drag it away with b5. Suppose I can play um, b5, but I'm just gonna wait on it. Bishop b2. For sure, this is a very closed structure, and as a result, it's gonna have the characteristics of closed structured game. What is this? Queen f6. What do we got here? Take. Let's say b5. So here, obviously, I'm going to require some sort of calculation, brute force calculations. I don't think there is any way to get out of a brute force calculation in this position. So that's just what I'm gonna try to do. Think black has responded well. Maybe b5 is not that bad. Yeah, b5 is fine. Damn, I didn't realize this was a 10-minute game. Anyway, maybe the next game will reduce the time. Yeah, so here black is attacking white center, and as white I'll have to do something to play against it. I don't think black is playing honestly here. These moves seem very computer driven moves, right? So they seem very computeristic in nature. So I'm not sure if black is playing honestly here. I don't think. I don't think so. Black is probably using the assistance of a machine at this point. I highly suspect that. I highly suspect that. Anyway, let's go rook e1. So if I see any more computer moves, I'm gonna stop this game because I don't like to play against cheaters. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Guess I have to play knight d4 now. Knight e5. What we see in this position is that black's knight on e5 is completely out of place. So white has some semblance of an advantage due to this knight. Queen e7. guess I can play e4 here. F7, f4. Yeah, why should white accept a draw here? I don't know. So the reason I played a4 in the last move is that if I had played f4 immediately, black can play c4 and queen c5 check. And my pawn on b5 would have been lost. So I protected the pawn on b5 first. And I believe this is a very cramped position for black. So white definitely looks to be on the better side. Alright, bishop c2 is a good move for sure. c3. White has some tricks with bishop a3 and attacking black's rook. Not immediately, but I do have that trick. g4, what do I see here? I have two choices. I suppose I can take on g4 and that would be fine. Yeah, these are all very computeristic moves. So I'm very suspicious of my opponent using machine or computer to as assistance. Right? So I think he's using computer assistance. I highly suspect that. Very suspicious at this moment. Can take it. Maybe queen d3. Yeah, these are all very computeristic moves. It's not playing honestly, this guy. Luckily for me, I think this position isn't going nowhere. Queen b4, another computeristic move, though I think bishop b3 would be a safe move here. Yeah, very, very computeristic moves. These are not the moves a machine would play, would play. So these are very, very computeristic moves. Very suspicious about this player. Match 4. But I think I can try to beat. Oops, what is this? What is this? I think I can beat a machine. I don't know how. Yeah, this is computer play for sure. Rook d8 move, a move like rook d8 is used by a machine. I'm stopping this game. Yeah. These are all computeristic moves. It's cheating this guy, Yash, whoever it is. Rook d8 is a very, very computeristic move. All right, yeah. I'm not. I'm aborting this game. Very bad sport. This is a cheater. So unfortunately, we have a cheater here because Rook d8 is not a uh, human move. I think I was suspicious right from around here after f6, right around here after, right. So this was all cheating moves. Yeah, this is not the way a machine would play. Yeah, I think I'm blocking this player. It's an unfortunate state of the game that there are so many cheaters out there. And I don't even know, like why would someone try to cheat in on an online YouTube session, right? I mean, there is just no incentive to do that. I suppose all of you guys might have heard of Umakant Sharma, and who was caught famously cheating in one of the FIDE tournaments. And I wouldn't say a few names, but those guys have lost a lot of reputation due to this. Anyway, so let's just move on from this. Um, okay, we'll play like one last game and then we can call it wraps. If you guys are okay with that, otherwise we can end it here. Um, I'll be having a few more sessions next week on the 19th and 20th and the 21st. So the next week I'll be having a few more sessions. I'll be doing slightly different things. I won't be playing online. I'll cover some advanced endgames in the next session and a preview of what my course on Unacademy would be looking like. So feel free to join those sessions and come up with lots of questions if you have them. And I hope we'll have an interactive session. All right. With that, have a good night, have a good evening, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.